It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and we are at the Jacobs in Chula Vista. This was one of my first succulent installations many years ago, and let's discuss the elephant in the room first. This is fake grass. No, I did not vote for it, but this is also not my yard, so we'll just get that out of the way. This hedge has always been a nightmare for me from a standpoint of design. The neighbors, it's their hedge, you know, they want to keep it. So my challenge is everything that I've planted in front of it is lost, with the exception of this boulder. So I haven't been on this property for over a year, and we are going to be coming back and doing a renovation, which of course I'm going to take all of you on, and I'm going to troubleshoot this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the plants that are currently here that are just being eaten by the hedge, both literally and visually, and I'm going to look for other things in the yard that I could possibly move over here that will pop against it. If I do not have any luck with that, I can get more of these honey quartz boulders about this size. I can stage them attractively in front of this hedge, and then I can take smaller diminutive like aloes and pop them in front of the rock to soften it up. That's probably the direction I'll go. Woohoo! Over here, there used to be a giant sticks on fire in this spot. It was just too hard to keep up with, so we got rid of it, and I planted a beautiful aloe, some portulacaria. We've got a beautiful, you know, aloe striata hybrid over there. This you probably can't tell from the video, but this is up on a fairly significant mound. And again, the whole idea is to convert this into a gorgeous specimen collector's garden with rocks. Some areas that I identified over here is this Hesperaloe. It's gotten very run-amucky, and this is a very simple plant to work with, and we will show you when we do the renovation on this property. We're going to dig the whole thing out, and we're going to divide it in clumps, put a couple of clumps back, and then work the other clumps around the garden. Easy fix. These agaves are superb. We have a moonstone and we have a creme de menthe, but they're getting too big to be along the sidewalk. So we are going to dig these up and move them to other areas of the garden and bring more diminutive plants, not unlike this Aloe Dorothiae over here, so it'll stay compact and better behaved. You know that I said the other day when I was bashing that poor pygmy palm at the neighbor's garden that some of my best and most favorite installations have been planted under mature pygmy palms. Exhibit A. Look how stunning these pygmies are. And they make this garden what it is. So there. This is a Dracaena Draco. I bought it and put it in here a couple years ago as a small 15-gallon specimen. It's starting to trunk. I will probably, as part of their maintenance rejuvenation, limit up about 6 inches to expose more of the trunk. This is an Agave Joe Hoke. Magnificent, is not showing any signs of blooming out yet, so we're good to go there. This desert spoon, this Wheelerii, has bloomed. So this plant is in the process of dying. It does have a baby right here that we are going to try to remove from the mom if at all possible. Otherwise, this whole plant is going to come out and be disposed of because it has bloomed out and it does look, it's just way too big. It's not to scale. Super happy. This is one concession that the client made when he had the artificial grass put in. He allowed me to plant my flag right here in the middle. I said, at least let me soften up part of this with a installation. So this is about a, I would say 12-foot by 10-foot oval that I staged a giant rock in the middle of, lifted it up with soil, and then have just done some foundation plantings. We do like a little sticks on fire for the color and the pop, but again, I'll be digging this out when we come back, severing the roots and resetting it so that I can control the height. This Agave Blue Flame is huge and magnificent. The sun has pulled her face in the wrong direction. She's not looking out here at the street, but we made an executive decision to let it ride because she is so big and so heavy. I don't think we can manipulate this plant without doing a lot of damage. So we're just going to leave that alone. This very shady portico area has always been a challenge until we discovered Sansevieria, mother-in-law's tongue, and Canariensis aeonium, and bromeliad. This is a tremendous trio of plants for this really, really shady spot, and the client does a really good job of watering these about once a week in the hotter months. This area over here that gets dappled sunlight started out as a tapestry, and over the years I have modified it into more of a specimen garden. Look at these Crassula Ovata. This is a natural bonsai. That's what this thing has done. We haven't manipulated this plant in any way. They are absolutely stunning. This Euphorbia lactea too is just spectacular here. I am so happy with that. I am going to get rid of transplant the Nandina heavenly bamboos. Just picture, if you will, this knot here and how it's going to open up these specimens and make it look so much more intentional. So these will get moved. This one will get moved. And I'm going to take these Sansevieria and dig them up and put them in a clump. Right now they're just kind of growing amok and they don't really make any sense, to me anyway. Then over here, this was a really tight little tapestry in front of this piece of driftwood that the client would like me to reinvent. So I'll be deconstructing all of these plants, pulling some little things from the back, and recreating another really cute tapestry for her to enjoy as she walks into her front door. We've got Kalanchoe tomentosa that is happy as a clam. This is one of the prettiest, most mature, healthiest stands of tomentosa I have ever seen. I don't want to even talk about it for fear of going sideways. So probably I will remove some of these aloe vera pups just so she can breathe. Also, check out this giant stand. We're going to be, this is Packy something or other, and Greg is checking the irrigation. Glory be! Yeah, we're just going to make this smaller. It's a little overpowering. It's fine. There were palm trees growing in here, a great big queens. And we cut them down, we hollowed out the trunks, and we planted them. There's, I believe, 3 on the property. And this Euphorbia snowflake is doing really, really spectacular in there. The Fred Ives could not be happier here in this corner. Oh, we've got some beautiful things. This has always been a trouble spot in that nothing ever wanted to grow here. So this is a case where the heavenly bamboo, the dwarf Nandina, looks really good and it softens up this corner, and I'm going to let it ride. Then we've got one of my favorite trios of crassulas, undulata, Argentea sunset, and the little golem. See, I'm always talking about how as plants mature, they start to knit together. This is an example of that. You can't really see where one starts and the other ends. And that's a look that in this scenario, I'm very fond of. Okay, now the client is passionate about black bamboo, and it is a really, really stunning plant, but it's also a hot, hot mess. So when I first installed all of these plants and rockwork, I wasn't that familiar with bamboo and did not realize its potential. Even though this is a clumping variety, you can see where it's running, and we have to keep these cut back. My rockwork is completely lost due to detritus from the bamboo. So what we're going to do when we come back is I'm going to lift off all of this rubble and repurpose it. And we're going to scrape off all the burgundy, and we're just going to have the Palm Springs gold going through here on its own, because the light color of the Palm Springs does kind of conceal the detritus. So that's my solution. Then as time goes by, as more and more of the agaves of various types pup, I'm going to move pups into this garden. So we have bamboo and some statement agaves, and that's it. Look at the little xeriscape. This was the first xeriscape that I ever did. Remember, xeriscape is a garden that does not rely on anything but rainwater. There's no irrigation. This has been in the ground for probably 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 years. We never do anything in here at all except the occasional weeding. Oh my gosh, look at this Quixocan agave. Look at all those fabulous babies around her. And my Pilosuceris. I was just wondering about mine at home if it was ever going to bloom. And there's a flower on theirs. And the little Santa Rita. Look at those beautiful little flowers. She's so purple and fabulous. And then this is a blood spot agave that bloomed out literally years and years ago that I just let ride. And what it's done is thrown off pups, some of which have also bloomed out. So when I come back, I'll be taking this out, cutting it all up, determining what's viable, restaging it. That'll help me get rid of these weeds, and also I'll be taking out this brevifolia too, so that this area is more intentional and can breathe. So all of these little artsy-fartsy vignettes of succulents, little soft tender things, we're also going to be taking out of this garden. I'm going to be reworking her pots. She has some little dish gardens. I'm going to be reworking her dish gardens with these plants. These will also be the plants that I'll use out front, in front of that driftwood. And remember, we're not going to be doing artsy-fartsy in here anymore. It's just going to be specimens only. Okay, there's another little blue Pilosoceras back behind the pygmy palm. It's lost back there, so I'm going to move that plant into this stump planter. This cactus that's in here is not happy. It's yellow and sad, so we're going to take it out, plant it back there in the shade, offer it a little bit of fertilizer, and see if we can get it to come out of it. I'm also going to be taking out this Crassula argentea and replacing it with something foofy, something fabulous, something more of a statement plant, because look, I mean, we've got that gorgeous Bambiolini aloe, we've got the Agave perii, we've got this impossibly yellow Crassula argentea, and our Aloe cameronii. So this is a really tight bed, especially with all the rock work. It just needs a little bit of pop. How about this? Yeah. Pick your jaws up off the ground, friends. This little microclimate gets shaded longer than any other place in the garden, but it does get late afternoon full sun. And to thank me for planting these things here, they have thrived. This is a Fred Ives that has crested. We have a Crassula argentea that is fully stressed with bright yellow flowers. One of my favorite Agave quadricolors. And this, I don't know exactly what variety this aeonium is. It's one of those flat saucer varieties. It's so great. So I'm going to take this argentea out. I'm going to dig this up. I'm going to divide it, put a lot of it back, and then move some of this fabulous creature to the front yard. Oh my gosh, am I going to have fun? There's just so much to do. I expect this is going to take me a couple of days, and you know, it's not unpleasant working conditions, to say the least. The clients are lovely. I'm going to have a crew with me. We will be being very careful with gloves and masks, and using coordinated sets of tools. So, wow, everybody, have a fantastic Saturday afternoon, and I look forward to working with you next week or the week after on this installation. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity, reporting with 10-year-old garden update and your succulent tip of the day. Bye, everybody.